Hello, my name is Eric Beach. I'm a strategic analyst for Jabil, and I'm here today to present our strategic plan for 2019. At Jabil, we are dedicated to delivering a valued commodity to our customers and are always seeking to do things more efficient, at lower cost, and maintaining the highest quality standards. Our customers reward us by giving us sales and letting us grow with them. For years, we have produced excellent products, and we will continue to do so. This year in difference, we're going to focus more on our core competencies. For example, the Corning line with the foaming, we're getting rid of that business. For Keurig, we are getting rid or doing away with their business. They want a product that is lower quality and is not biodegradable. At Jabil, we are a company of a high corporate social responsibility. So therefore, they no longer fit into our business model. Okay, so now what do? What's our new strategy? Everyone's coming out with different products, but they're all similar, different manufacturing ways, but they're similar. How do we become different? Where do we get our competitive advantage? And this year, we're going to focus on a strategy that's never been done before by Jabil. Our goal this year is to increase profitability by 20% over 3 years. The plan is to acquire a raw material manufacturer, Poly One, and basically eliminate the overhead purchases of our main raw ingredient. Our main expenditure is resin. We also pick up a secondary revenue stream by being able to sell polymers to other manufacturers. When you do a SWOT analysis, or strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and goals, and threats, we have a lot of them that are out there on all sides. But some of the major strengths, we have a global presence, which is now being doubled by our purchase of Poly One. Large financial base that can survive ups and downs, ebbs and flows in the market. Large network of diversified customers. This also feeds into our new products that allow us to build new polymers and create new products with life cycle designs because of our access to the manufacturing facilities. We use a third-party labor, so that allows us to take more on, let more go as we need to. We need a wide variety of resins. We have a large sector of secondary sales, as we all know, to our competition, as we know by when we purchased the company. We have a good transportation capability to supply our new customers and supply our factories. And we also have a large R&D department at our Center of Excellence in Florida to develop new production ways, new products, and new innovations. We do have some weaknesses. We got a high turnover rate. We have many quality issues. I think that goes with our third-party issues and their training. We have high scrap ratio runs. That goes with the age of our production equipment and our labor. We need an investment in new technology. Our exposed culture is not being driven down at the plant level. There's a lack of behavioral correction of persons at the plant level. ERP training and technology training, we are failing our own people by not giving them the proper tools to do their job. Our inventory errors are high. Our consumption errors on BOMs or bill of materials are even higher. Too much downtime with our outdated equipment. My own plant, Mebane, we had 25 out of 80 presses down last week for maintenance time. Plants are not following 5S guidelines. Opportunities. New life cycle product, more technology, better efficiencies, lower quality issues, lower cost by the vertical integration, better inventory accuracy, more SOX compliance. This is our strategic map. Bottom line is if you look at the 4 different sectors of financial goals, customer service goals, internal business process goals, and learning growth goals, you will see that we have 4 conclusions we were trying to meet. Under the learning growth goal, we're using the diversity of the new employees, materials, education to expose a complex, adaptive system to Jabil with a culture focused on innovation. Instead of trying to rewrite the same book, we want to rewrite a different book. Internal business process goals. Innovation to create market shaker products due to new capabilities and stability during market ebbs and flows. We want to develop products that are going to shake the market, not just enter. Under customer service goals, increased innovation ideas and solutions to end users, which leads to customer satisfaction increase. And then, of course, while we're all here, the financial goals. Increased profitability due to new core competencies. To achieve our goals, we're going to use a vertical integration strategy. We're buying the resin manufacturer. We're doing the cost leadership strategy. We're going to keep things on a budget. And we will use management by objective to ensure that the overall cost of manufacturing is reduced by 20%. Our plan has been divided up by department. Senior leadership corporate team has been given permission from the SEC to buy the supplier. So yes, we are buying Poly 1. They are to allocate the funds for the changes needed at the plant and also provide guidance and direction to the plants on an individual basis. Every one of them are different. They have different needs and capacities, and we have to bring them online to match our new addition. The production teams are using samples of Poly 1 material that is already existing, that we're already purchasing, and we're running samples now with our current equipment. With upgrades and hopefully new monies to invest in new technologies, we'll be able to develop new products, new techniques, and become even more efficient. We are also looking at the standards of our customers' needs to make sure that there are no issues that we have in our part of the situation with any of their requirements. Supply chain departments are currently getting their 18-month forecast ready, loading new part numbers, getting purchase order numbers ready. These are the things that need to happen in our SAP ERP system to make things go more smoothly. Finance department is looking at the new acquired databases from Poly 1 to see how maybe there was a competitive advantage given to our competitors that we didn't know about, to also see is there getting them under our umbrella for in the banking industries and the regulations and so forth, just to get the money flowing correctly. Warehouse and logistics are looking at deliveries of the product to the new customers, and they're also looking at the rehab of the plant facilities for the newly acquired plant product coming in. Since it's going to be ours, we're going to buy strictly from Poly 1. We're going to be developing a new system and a new warehousing system that will allow us to eliminate some spaces that we had allocated for material. Human resources are examining the personnel of the newly acquired plant and making sure that they're up to speed on our COTs, our certificates of training, and any regulations by NGOs or government agencies that need to be fulfilled as permits and so forth are handled before we have any problems. So our evaluation for success will be done on a balanced scorecard method. All major departments have been assigned targets per their department. If we find that they're not meeting their department or a plan is lacking, not meeting ratios, milestones, we'll institute an analysis of the capabilities. This will consist of a root cause analysis using the 5 using the fishbone diagram, and ultimately an A3 analysis, and that will give us the high-low priorities and assign owners and responsibilities and come up with a timeline for completion of these retrofits. This is just a sample of the A3 forms. You can see it has what I described on it, and this is the form that we'll be using for the process. Goals, targets for the balanced scorecard. On the finance side, all targets are going to be SMART, right? And we're going to, for finance, we're going to do a reduction in accounts payable per plant by 10% compared to the previous year. Check the increase in profitability to be seen in gross margins and return on assets per quarter, previous quarters, and compare them. Reduction in warehouse personnel due to the less complexity of warehousing goods. Reduction of number of suppliers for the plant. Analysis of financial ratios such as the asset ratio, for example, comparative to and before the merger. And we'll go from there. On the internal business progress targets, we're going to say how often has inventory fallen below safety stock numbers, comparative before the merger, of course. Have the results of internal audits showed support for the efforts to attain strategic goals? Got to have everybody on board. Has operational efficiency fallen comparative to previous 4 weeks of production with the new resins? OEE, is it falling down because we're using a new product? If so, why? We'll be looking at the expense budgets. Any increase from previous quarters, we're going to want to know why. Learning and growth targets. How many plants are up to speed with COTs completed on new products? Are the newly acquired plants employees merging with our organizational cultures? How many issues have there been with requirements of tolerance and diversity in the new plants? Have the leadership structures of the new plants become flatter? How many positions have been consolidated? This will be comparative to before and after the merger to the Jabil plant structures. And the last one for teams. How many cross-functional teams have formatted at the plant level on the new plants comparative to the Jabil plants before and after the merger? Customer targets. We're going to be looking for an increase in gross sales before and after the acquisition. The amount of customer complaints will be lower. We'll be looking for that. Has the amount of on-time deliveries retained stable, or have they increased, or have they decreased? Are we still meeting takt time, production time, customer expectations? Has there been any outliers or any unique situations that have occurred since the acquisition that we really need to take a look at? Communication plan will be through a three-way style between the plant leadership team, the senior core leadership team, and the plant personnel. There will be formal channels to members identified in a stakeholder analysis from high power, high interest, all the way to low power, low interest. There will be weekly meetings between the plant leadership teams, and the senior member of the plant leadership team will be the liaison to the senior corporate leadership team. They will bring back any directives or edicts that senior corporate people feel that we should, or leadership team should feel that we need to implement. The kickoff will start with an announcement from our plant CEO, or from our corporate CEO. Will be a video blog, and we will have a kickoff party at all plants. At that, we will have a town hall meeting. The plant leadership personnel will answer the questions from the plant personnel. They will be their liaisons through this whole process. Now, after those kickoff meetings are done, depending on where they fell in the stakeholder analysis will determine the channel they be communicated with. For example, high power, high interest, you're going to have a weekly meeting, emails, and so forth. Low power, low interest, you're going to have an email notification. Every week, the plant managers will send out a update email to all plant personnel to let them know what we've been through, what we've done, and what we've got upcoming for the next week. This concludes the presentation of the strategic plan for 2019, and I appreciate your time and patience. It's a bold, aggressive plan for Jabil, but I believe it provides the strategic initiative needed to increase our market share, satisfy stakeholders' interest, and give us an unprecedented competitive advantage. Thank you, and I open up the floor for questions at this time.